Welcome, Aries and Aries cross watchers, to your love reading for this week. Oops. So, thanks for stopping by my channel today, everyone. Happy to have you here. I hope that you've had a great weekend and you have a great week coming up. Whoops. Oh dear. I do want to let. Whoa. Well, okay. Sometimes it can take a while for the cards to come out, so I guess you know what you want here. Oh wait. I do want to let everyone know. Okay, there we go. That private readings are available. So if you'd like a private reading with me, my email is below in the description box. There is about a 5 to 10 day turnaround time right now. So I just wanted to let everybody know about that. Okay. There's 3 court cards, and usually court cards obviously represent people. We do have the Ten of Swords at the bottom of the deck, but it just feels like, oh, there's... Anyway. I do feel, to a certain extent, that this person, your person, seems to feel like they need to make somebody else happy. But interestingly enough, I feel like this actually seems to be 2 aspects of their personality. So, with that said, we have the Cobra and the Mouse for your overall energy. And the Cobra talks about, like, it's almost like that get up and go. It's time to change. It's time to move. It's almost like someone kind of pushing you and nudging you along to start living again. And the Mouse energy talks about someone that's like, I'm not saying that you are, okay, but it's an energy of somebody that's kind of scurrying around, taking care of all of the details, but it's like there's so many details, they're getting lost in it. And I feel like if you have been in that energy, Aries has had just about enough of that, because I feel like you're kind of ready to I actually feel like there's somebody here that has made you sit up and take notice. And it's not that you're chasing anybody or anything like that. It actually feels more like there's someone here that you didn't think you'd meet. I feel like it's someone that it's almost like there's certain aspects of your personality that might be subversive, or that, like, you may have to keep those parts of your personality kind of under wraps around most people. I feel like you kind of run into somebody here that it's like the 2 of you could look each other in the eye and be like, oh yeah, we're thinking the same thing. And it feels like you... Hold on for a second. I feel like you find this person really interesting. I feel like you see them as somebody that it's like they're similar enough to you that you'll get along, but they seem to have enough of a different outlook that they would be able to kind of broaden your gap, or not gap, but like broaden your horizon, sort of thing. I do want to say, for some of you, this person could be a bit of a night owl. It may not be the case, but it just kind of feels like they come alive at night, I'm hearing. And I do kind of feel like this energy, if you have been in the Mouse energy, I feel like either you're about to set it aside or you are setting it aside. Because it just kind of feels like this person seems to have really sparked your interest. So what you're thinking about this person, the Queen of Swords, it's almost like, yes, this person sparked your interest, but with a healthy dose of caution. The Queen of Swords talks about somebody that is has the potential to be very cutting with their words. And it's like there's the threat of that there, but I feel like you do give people the benefit of the doubt. It's like you give them a chance to say their piece, sort of thing, before you start, dissecting what it is that they've said here. So I feel to a certain extent, it's like, yeah, you sit up and take notice. There may be a lot of physical chemistry between the two of you. There may be a really great intellectual connection. For some of you, it could be emotional. I feel for a lot of you, it's intellectual. It's like the two of you, when you're having a conversation, you really seem to stimulate each other, um, like mentally, if that makes sense, or intellectually, I guess. Anyway, whatever that is, I feel like this person, um, this is kind of how I'm seeing it. It's almost like if you had, for example, if you had like a suitor or like a line of suitors here, I feel like the line would start here, right? And it's like most people wouldn't even get past that part of the line. It's like they'd come up and like, no, no, no. I saw that one pushing somebody in the line before they got here. You know what I mean? It's like you've been watching everybody as they're on their way to you. And I feel like here's this person that you are intrigued about, that you do want to talk to. And I feel like they may be one of the first that got close enough to even chat, to talk to you. You know what I mean? So I do feel to a certain extent that you have been quite guarded. I feel like you have been really focusing on the details of, the romantic interests, or those sorts of, sorry, the people in your life that are potentials. I feel like you have been really, really discerning about, it's like if you see someone treat, um, like the wait staff or something poorly, even once, you may not even be out with that person, but it's like if this person uses somebody that's innocent of the situation to vent on, it's like automatic no, shut down, you're not going to open that book again. So in that sense, it feels like that's where this cutting energy is coming from. And I actually feel like this, I'm hearing patient. But what's interesting is that I don't actually think this person is terribly patient. I just feel like they seem to have a lot of self-control. It does feel like it's someone that, it's like the narrative in their mind may be really fiery, may be really passionate and impulsive, but I feel like your person has learned to temper that and evolve that into the King of Pentacles here. So what's in your heart towards this person? Like, for the love of God, we have the Ten of Swords at the bottom of the deck with the, let's put this down. So make sure I'm only getting one card. With the Hermit here. And then you have the Nine of Swords and the Five of Cups. Like that's a really tough energy. I feel like you are, it's almost like you're trying to protect the more vulnerable parts of yourself. I feel like you're trying to protect that inner child. I actually feel that this seems to be somebody that, it's like you kind of want to open up to them. You kind of want to, or not kind of. I feel you do, but you are keeping yourself in this Queen of Swords energy because I actually feel like to a certain extent, this is where you're at, truly. The Five of Cups talks about regret, loss, sorrow, disappointment, and the Nine of Swords is, the Nightmare card. Not that you are living a nightmare, which I certainly hope that you're not, but it's more like, I feel to a certain extent that whatever you're going through, you seem to feel like you brought it on yourself. Feel like you may have been in a headspace where you were, just being really down on yourself. It's like you were beating yourself up over a lot of things, feeling like if you just hadn't done this or that things would be different, that those cups wouldn't have been knocked over. And I feel like you're taking all the responsibility for whatever happened here. And I actually don't know if I'll be able to talk you out of that, because I feel like you're kind of not done feeling guilty. I do feel to a certain extent that you do start to come out of that energy, but I feel like I don't know if you can see that the blanket here and the cape there are actually kind of the same color. So I feel like it's like if you do come out of that Nine of Swords energy, you take a lot of that sorrow with you. I feel like you seem to take something that brings you a feeling of security with you. It's almost like a lucky um, quarter or coin in your pocket or something. Or it's like if you have crystals, it's like a specific crystal that you have on you when you're out. Just makes you, it just seems to make things go smoother. But anyway, I feel like this is this mouse energy, right? It's like really focused on the details. I feel like when you focus on the details, it seems like it's all your fault. And I feel like if and when you're ready to take a step back from focusing on the details and look at the bigger picture here, I feel like you're going to see that there's a lot more to this situation that, number one, there's a lot more, but number two, there's a lot that you don't know. It's like there's a lot of, not anomalies, but just unknowns. And I feel like in that, it seems to help to, I feel like, oh, I hope you're not, sorry, some of you, maybe not all of you, but I feel like when you hear that there's a lot that you don't know, I feel like you then start blaming yourself for not knowing. And I do feel that if you kind of hit that energy, that actually seems to be a bit of a turning point for you. It's almost like you realize that you've kind of got stuck into this cycle where it's like you just kind of beat yourself up no matter what you say, no matter what's going on. And I do feel that is kind of the catalyst for you to start taking some steps towards, it's like, whereas before you may have been an energy where you were denying the loss that you've experienced, I feel like you seem to have, tapped into your courage and bravery. And I feel like you've turned around to face what's been lost. And I feel like that's one of the first steps, right? Um, it's like the process of grieving sort of thing, right? It's like you were in a bargaining energy here and you're moving into, I don't know what the 5 stages of grief are, I apologize, but it's like you're moving into the next stage where you're able to look at the situation with a really honest perspective, um, because you're ready to let go of it all, like all of the mental anguish that's been coming with it. So your actions or intentions towards this new person, we have the Knight of Pentacles. So here's the thing about the Knight of Pentacles. This is somebody, or this embodies an energy that has very steady progress, or like very long lasting progress, but it is slow. You know what I mean? It's like, it's so freaking slow. You can spell the word SLOW rather than slow. And I feel like you actually seem to, I feel like to a certain extent, you kind of perk up a little bit. I feel like you kind of see some similarities between you and this person. And I do feel that despite the fact that you are healing from a loss, it's like the fact that you moved yourself into the 5 of Cups energy rather than the 9 of Swords energy, I feel like it's a signal. It's almost like there's a big weight off your heart. It's like if your heart was wrapped up with this big thick chain with a, padlock, it's like a heart-shaped padlock on it. I feel like you allowing yourself to be in this 5 of Cups energy and looking at the situation, I feel like you're able to let go of a lot of the burdens that you've been carrying. And I feel like because you've faced that, you seem to very slowly kind of want to walk towards this person. not run, you know what I mean? And you're not walking fast, but I feel like you are open to it. So on your person's end here, we have the camel, the bat, and the sea serpent. So I feel like this is somebody that can, like they seem a little cocky. And that's not necessarily a bad thing, but I feel like this person seems to know that they have aroused your interest. They seem to know that you are very attracted to them, and I feel like they know that because it's mutual. But this person seems to be almost kind of strutting their stuff for you, if you will. You know what I mean? It's like they kind of see you as this cobra looking at them, and like if their chest wasn't puffed out before you noticed them, it's like the fact that you've noticed them in the way that you did actually puffs this person's chest out even more. It's like it seems to be a real source of pride that that someone like you has taken notice of this person. So when it comes to the bat energy, I feel like this person, it's almost like they got a sneak attack up their sleeve a little bit. I feel like this person may be somebody that in the past used some underhanded tactics in their life. I mean, I certainly would hope that it wasn't with you. But I do feel to a certain extent that they still seem to have a bit of a narrative of those sorts of behaviors. So it's almost like they may see how they would be able to, get what they want with you here by using dubious means. I feel like when those thoughts kind of come in, this person lets them go just as quickly. But it almost seems to give them a bit of confidence here. And let me explain that a little bit. It's like because they know that they could get what they want with you by, not being entirely honest, I feel like they actually have more confidence in their ability to be honest about it and get you, because it seems that this person gets a lot of gratification out of doing the right thing. It's like maybe this is someone that didn't do the right thing for a long time, and when they finally figured it out that that's not going to give them what they want in the long term, it feels like this person seems to feel actually quite powerful. And it's almost like they may not be dipping into that really negative energy, but I feel like the fact that they have come to terms with their shadow seems to make them feel quite powerful. I feel like this person is someone, they are wicked attracted to you. Oh my gosh. So that's definitely there. And I feel like this person, it's like maybe they're doing some manifesting and meditating, and you know what I mean? It's like they're getting into the energy of already having you and having a relationship with you and that sort of thing. And I do feel to a certain extent, and this is anecdotal, right? So it may not be the actual case, but manifesting a specific person rather than a person with the qualities that you want, I feel like they kind of saw you and they were, a little bit blinded to all of that. I feel like they're so focused on wanting someone exactly like you that there may be something that they're losing sight of here. Hold on for a second. It doesn't feel, doesn't feel necessarily, just looking at which deck to use. 1 second here, Aries. Sorry. Usually I can pick them a lot faster. Okay. What is this person not seeing? So, the Hermit, as some of you may know, I guess, not all of you, but it talks about an energy of someone that's kind of secluding themselves to work through some things. And I feel like your person may feel like you, number one, I feel like they're not really aware of some possible other options that you have. It also feels like this person seems to feel like they can manifest whatever they want, which of course is, a good quality to have, but it does feel like it's to the extent that they, would impose on your free will. And it feels like they wouldn't really want to do that. It feels a bit dicey, but it's like there is a bit of a draw there. You know what I mean? It's like it would be a really tempting skill to have if this person could impose their will on other people. Yikes. So I think we're going to actually or it's not Pisces, I apologize. Towards Aries. Oh, we have the Tower. Okay. So I actually feel that this person, it's like they're going to get a rude awakening here when it comes to this situation. And it's not because you're going to be serving them with something or another, right? It's not because you're out to get anybody or you're going to, there's games coming their way or anything like that. It actually feels that this person, if they really want you, I feel like they're going to have to wait. And I feel like they may be somebody that, like the cards were saying earlier, that patience isn't really their strong suit. I feel like if you don't get involved with them right away, and of course there's no indication here that you should or should not do that, but it just feels like they may feel rejected if things don't kind of get off the ground right away. I feel like they kind of think at times that you may think that you're better than them. And it's kind of an endearing quality to me anyway, that it's like this person seems to be talking themselves into, well, I'm still not going to walk away because I'm going to show Aries that they're not better than me. And not because they're going to come in and be a jerk about it, but more it's like they seem to really want to prove to you who they are. I feel like this might be somebody that it's like maybe they have been that proverbial black sheep. Maybe they've been somebody that people have always underestimated. And they seem to be really determined here to not have that experience with you. So it's like if they feel that you're going to leave them out in the cold, or if they feel that they're somehow being rejected here, it's like they'll go back to the drawing board, they'll have a bit of a glow up, and they'll be back. So with the Five of Pentacles here is what's in their heart space. I mean, I don't really... So we have the Seven of Wands. I feel like this person's really used to having to fight tooth and nail for everything that they have. I feel like they seem to feel that they have to really fight for love, that it needs to be this uphill battle, and not because of anything that you've done or you're an uphill battle. It's just this person seems to, it's almost like they may have a little bit of this mouse energy in themselves. I feel like they might occupy themselves with smaller details of life, almost as a bit of a, escapism. And what's interesting is that they want to escape from having to wait. So it's like they do busy work in the meantime. You know what I mean? And I feel like this, the energy that they're in here, it's just to kind of stave off, not quite boredom, but it's like that energy of being able to sit in silence. It's like this person would only be able to sit there for so long before they have to get up and do something. And then actions or intentions, we have the King of Pentacles. So I definitely feel like this person is a pretty strong masculine. That doesn't necessarily mean that they are, or that this person identifies as male, but they do have a strong masculine presence. So I just kind of feel like this person may be trying to, it's almost like they may be trying to ignore you a little bit, but I kind of feel like this person, it's like they're pretending to not look at you. And it's almost like they're sitting in their chair and they're like, okay, I'm not going to look. I'm not going to look. Is that, wait, are they looking? Are they looking at me? Can you check? Can somebody check if they're looking at me? You know what I mean? It's a really, I feel like they seem to realize that the more they check over their shoulder, it's like the more they're kind of messing up the energy a little bit. And not messing it up really, but it just feels like the more that they look over their shoulder waiting for you, I feel like this person's, it's like they seem to realize that they have to give you space to come to them. So we have the Ten of Cups reversed, the Knight of Wands, and the Two of Pentacles to clarify this person here. So, okay. I feel like your person seems to be a little bit peeved that you aren't kind of rushing into their arms here. They seem to feel, it's almost like they're looking at you, Aries, like, well, don't you see a future with me? Don't you see? Don't you see? It's almost like a little bit of a haughty energy, but not in the way that they're angry at you or anything like that. It's really more like they're a little offended, maybe a little, not insecure, but it's like, it's almost like they're offended that you think that, or you think so little of them. And it's not for any other reason, really, that this person actually holds you, not on a pedestal, but it's like in that high regard. I feel like this person has an immense amount of respect for you. And I feel like that's why they're not going anywhere. That's why this person actually feels rejected by you. It's like, that's why it kind of hit them a little hard. And that's why it was a little bit or they got kind of a little bit offended when you didn't kind of go running into their arms. So it's just like they feel that they are exactly what you want. If you did know this person previously, doesn't mean you were in a relationship, but it's like if you told them exactly what you were looking for in a partner, they're kind of looking at you like, well, hello. And I feel like they might almost be a little bit insulted that you never considered them in that way. And so I feel like it's almost like they got a little bee in their bonnet here. And I'm not trying to be diminutive or flippant towards this person, but it's like that seems to be where that energy of like, they get a bee in their bonnet, they turn away, and then that's when they start asking like, is Aries looking at me? Is Aries, do they see that I'm ignoring them? Do they see what's happening here? Because it definitely feels like they're doing it to get your attention. And what's interesting is I'm not so sure that you really noticed. I feel like because you were focused on your own healing, taking care of business, and accepting this loss that you've experienced, and it's like, and here this person is over here almost like a pinball in the machine trying to figure out what the heck's going on. And it's like, well, it wasn't about them. It was because you were experiencing something that you needed to heal from. And I do feel to a certain extent that that's this person now saying like, well, I get that, but can we get this on, show on the road sort of thing. So I definitely feel like that patience, what does Aries know? What will they know about that? Patience. Page of Wands reversed. Just want to make sure that's the only card. Yeah, you're not gonna deal with that. Mm-mm. And it doesn't mean that you're cutting this person off entirely, but whatever intended effect that lack of patience would have on most people, it doesn't even, like, it's irrelevant to you. You know what I mean? It's like whatever you do here is not to please this person. If you pursue this connection, it's not to say that you wouldn't do things that would make them happy or whatever, but it's like You're not here to chase anybody. You're not here to make anybody feel secure when they're insecure. Um, I feel like you are, it's like you're not going to be, if this person has stuff that they need to deal with on their own, like when it comes to developing patience or how you face this loss, it's like nobody can face that for you. You had to do it for yourself. And I feel like whatever this person's problem is with patience, it's their problem. And you're not going to be playing into that sort of thing. It's almost like you're not going to be tolerating any of the noise that comes along with that. So we do have the Two of Swords here. Any other clarifier? Six of Cups. Hold on for a second. We have a Fool at the bottom of the deck. Just a second here. I do feel that it may not be the first time this person has approached you. For some of you, it's like if it is the first time with this person, it's not the first time that somebody like this has approached you. And I feel like you're going to see yourself acting bear with me. I feel like you respond differently to the situation because you've been doing work on yourself and because you're doing some healing and that sort of thing, and you don't feel the need to like fill the empty space in other people's lives. Not that you did before, but you know, if there was, you know, I want to say like nature loves a vacuum. So if somebody here was suffering, you would have done what you can to assist that person. But I feel like you really look at it from an analytical point of view, like, well, what would me helping this person, what would that do to their healing process? How would that interfere? So I do feel that this person seems to feel that you aren't seeing things clearly, that it's almost like they get into this headspace where like, no, Aries just isn't seeing things clearly. They don't see what's really going on. They're not paying attention. But I actually feel like this person, if they are able to slow down a little bit, they might see that actually it's not necessarily that something is being hidden here. It's not that something's being hidden from you or that you're not seeing things. You are. There's just things that aren't your responsibility, so you're not reacting to them. They do seem to want a bit of validation from you here, and I feel like you're not giving that. Can we get some final advice for Aries, please? Oh God, the imagery on that card is just a little potent. It's not all the cards that I'm saying that to. So we have the Nine of Swords, the Father of Cups, apologies, the Four of Cups, and the Page of Pentacles. So I feel like the message here is to, it's interesting that I think this is a rat, but it's similar imagery to the mouse. So I feel like the message here is to keep doing what you're doing. There may be times where you feel like you should be doing something different, that you should be, well, what if you should be doing this? And what if you should be doing that? And blah, blah, blah. And I actually feel like what you're doing is exactly what you should be doing. I feel like you are making slow and steady progress towards where you want to go. And I do feel here that you are moving from this Queen of Swords into a King of Cups energy, which is someone that's very emotionally mature, someone that doesn't, it's not that you don't get excited about things, but you're not excitable, right? It's like you're not somebody that reacts to situations. You consider and then respond. And I feel like to a certain extent, because it's like you're Cups and Swords and this person is Wands and Pentacles, right? So it's like very different energy. And I feel like this person may struggle with that difference. It's like you understand what you're doing and why you're doing it, but I feel like this person may at times take things personally that aren't meant personally, that aren't about them. I also feel that it's like if you were in an energy where you were too focused on the details or something, how the cards were saying that earlier, when you accept this and you move into looking at the bigger picture, I feel like that's when you um, seem to really, it's like all of a sudden you understand so much more of human behavior. And I feel like you actually end up seeing this person rather, it's like maybe this person looks and acts like a king to a certain extent, but I feel like you seem to see that at their core, they may have a bit of page energy. And hang on, let me explain that. Not that this person is somehow less than. It actually feels more that you see that at this person's core, what they really want is validation. What they really want is approval. What they really want is for someone to tell them that they're enough and that they're okay. And I feel like you do have compassion for that. But it feels like at this time, you're not really interested in filling that need for this person. And that's not to say that you wouldn't help open this person's eyes to what's going on, but I feel like you know that if you did that right now, I feel like on the one hand, they would be shocked. Not angry shocked, but it's almost like they would feel kind of like they've had a spotlight put on them. And it's like they'd be a bit huffy, if you will. And I feel like on the other hand, you do kind of see this person as not quite ready. It's like they're not in a headspace where they're ready to receive that kind of information. So I think I'll leave it there, Aries. This reading is, oh wow. Oh, sorry. I didn't realize it was 37 minutes. So I do apologize that I went so long in this reading. But Aries, if this reading resonated, I hope it was helpful. I hope that it brought you some clarity. And we will see you on the next one. Much love. Bye.